Okay, so we are now live. Looks like it. We are live. The timer is on over there. Okay, here we are. Just waiting for some insight and we'll start coming into the meeting. Yeah, it just see we're just getting in. So we'll just wait a couple of minutes in here and we'll start with here. Okay. Hello everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Everyone, I am Dareen Kolfat and I have been a volunteer at MAPS several times uh, through so many programs, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys tonight. Inshallah, I'm looking forward to it. And this is my daughter. Your name? Yara. This is Yara Rashidi, and today it's been a pleasure to have her with me. We will be reading a book for you, and the title of the book is Lost and Found Cat, and I am reading this book with the permission from Crown Books for young readers. So we will start reading this book, me and Yara. I just want to let you guys know this book is based on a true story. It's a really nice book. It brings beautiful values, and we've been enjoying reading it at home. And me and Yara, we're going to be taking turns reading some pages. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and dive into it. Again, the title of the book is Lost and Found Cat. It's a true story of Kunkush's incredible journey. So the name of the cat is Kunkush. And it's written by Doug Contes and Amy Schulz. So here we go. We really like the illustration of the book as well. We should give credit to Sue Cornelison. It's been really beautiful to look at the illustration of this book. Lost and Found Cat. Late one night in August 2015, a car driven by a smuggler snuck out of the city of Mosul in the country of Iraq. The smuggler's passengers were a mother and her four daughters and one son. Their father had recently died. Surah, the mother, had paid the smugglers to help her family flee the country. Mosul had become too dangerous.
A few days earlier, the family had gotten ready to leave, since they could only bring what they could carry. They had packed just one bag full of food and water. They would buy clothes later, but Surah decided they could not leave without their beloved cat, Kutkush. Surah prayed that the cat hidden in a small carrier would stay quiet. If the smuggler discovered Kunkush, he would make her pay a great deal more money.
So this is Kunkush and this is Surah. 2 hours later, the car stopped and they were told to get out. Another smuggler met them and led them on foot through forests and over mountains, stopping only to eat and sleep in the woods. Surah feared for her children, Rehab, which is 18 years old, Hakam, 16 years old, Mab, 11 years old, Al-Bab, 10 years old, and Ansab, 9 years old. But they saw it as but they saw it as an adventure, often singing, and they walked during the 3-day journey.
Surah and her son Hakam took turns carrying Kunkush at the back of the line. So if the cat meowed, the smuggler would not hear him. Whenever they stopped to rest, Surah took Kunkush behind some trees to let him out and feed him.
How amazing that is. That's them and Conquer's taking care of him in the woods. That's cute. On the fourth day, they reached a Kurdish village where another smuggler was waiting to take them to Istanbul, Turkey, in a bus. While the smuggler drove, the family had to be on the lookout for the patrols trying to catch them. The family, the family stayed in the city for 2 weeks, moving from one apartment to another. At least Kunkush could wander freely inside of the apartment.
Finally, it was time to cross the, the
Agency
agency to Greece.
to Greece.
Greece. The family boarded another bus and drove to a place called
Izmir.
Izmir
Izmir.
on the Turkish coast. They they walked 3 hours along the beach until they were told to put on life jackets.
The Greek island of Lesbos was 6 miles across the water. Kunkush and his family were crammed aboard a flimsy rubber boat. It was meant to carry only 25 people, but there were more than 60 men, women, and children on the boat, plus one secret, one secret cat, which is Kunkush.
Almost, almost as soon as the overcrowded boat launched, it began taking water because it was so heavy. From the sh- from the shore, people shouted at the passengers to throw their belongings overboard to make to make the boat lighter. But most refused, so they tried to hold Kunkush's carrier above the water until the wave drenched them all.
There's Surya trying to hold that basket up above so the water will not take
Yes.
Kunkush. The sinking boat had to return to shore. As a crush of people got off, Kunkush's carrier door was broken. Determined to make the crossing, Surya told her kids to stay aboard. The boat launched again, this time with fewer passengers. Surya was scared because only her son Hakam could swim, but her daughters were unconcerned, enjoying the ride in the sun after weeks of hiding. The 3 hour crossing to Lesbos felt like it flew by thanks to their excitement and positive attitude. Definitely, her girls' attitude helped a lot throughout this journey. And as you can see, she's still holding really tight there on the basket for her cat as well, caring for the cat as she's caring for her kids. That's really beautiful. And that's Hadyara volunteers.
Volunteers in Greece waited on the shore to help hundreds of refugees arriving every day. As soon as the boat reached the beach, panicky,
Panicky.
panicky, shivering passengers scrambled to get off. Hakim splashed ashore with Kunkush and put the carrier on dry land. Then he hurried back to his mother off the boat.
To help his mother.
Off the boat.
So there is Hakam over here. So he got off the boat and he's carrying Kunkush with a basket to put it on shore. When a frightened Kunkush pushed his way out of the broken door of his carrier, he quickly disappeared into the forest like a deer.
While the rest of the boat passengers were loaded onto a bus continue their journey, the family refused to leave without their cat. Several volunteers helped them look for Kunkus. They searched for hours. At last, they had to give up. The heartbroken family needed to leave, taking the next step towards a new home.
In a little fishing village on Lesbos, near where Konkush's family had arrived, there lived a colony of island cats. No one owned them, but fishermen kept them well fed. A few days after Konkush's family had left, volunteers noticed a white cat hanging around the local cafes. The white cat's fur was filthy and matted. He looked like he was starving. The local cats seemed to know he was a stranger. They hissed and spat and chased him away.
One of the volunteers, Amy, told her friend to follow volunteers Ashley about the cat she'd seen. Could this be the white cat that could this be the white cat that
The one that
the
family
one
had
that
lost.
family had lost? After questioning villagers and searching the island, Amy and Ashley found the white cat and took him to a local vet.
Dr. Costantina shaved the cat's matted, filthy fur. She gave him his shots and other medicines. But this cat needed a name for now. Dr. Costantina suggested Dies to give him strength. Dies is supposedly the Greek name for Zeus, the king of the ancient Greek gods. The friends
The
took
friends took
Dias.
Diaz back to Amy's apartment. His shaved fur was still of sand and bugs. Amy bathed him and scrubbed him until he was clean. 5 minutes after his bath, the exhausted cat collapsed down mid meow and slept.
There's the cat. They're sleeping.
So cute. Diaz stayed with Amy for over a month. Often he prowled along the apartment, yelling loudly. Amy believed he was looking for his family.
Mhm. Reunite DAs. Please click here to donate. Amy and her friends were determined to reunite Diaz with his family. But where were they? Volunteers created flyers, and Amy's friends, Michael back in the United States, made a Facebook page for him. People contributed money to help pay for his medical care and travel. Before long, news stories about the lost cat appeared around the world. Millions of people saw the videos, articles, and Facebook updates about Diaz. He had become famous.
Amy was fairly sure that Diaz's family had left Greece. Many of the refuge families had traveled to Germany since Amy's time in Lesbos
Was ending.
was ending. She made plans to take Diaz to Germany. She and Diaz flew to
Berlin.
Berlin, with a British couple named Emma and Simon
Had
had agreed to take care of him and continued the search for his family. If his family could not be found after a year, they would adopt him.
And then, on Valentine's Day, the family saw their lost cat on a news website. The oldest daughter, Rehab, who had learned some English, contacted Amy and her friends through Facebook. Everyone had been looking in the wrong place. The family was living in Norway, not Germany. Rehab told Amy that Diaz's real name was.
Oh gosh,
Mhm.
his ears perked up.
The volunteers.
The volunteers arranged a Skype visit. When the family saw the fluffy white cat on the stream, they called, Kunkush! His ears perked up. He started, he stared, searching. He started searching for his family. Sorry.
You got it's exciting. We're getting excited. A photographer named Doug in Lesbos and Germany to show the refugees' story to the world. Agreed to fly with Konkush from Germany to Norway. But when he got to the airport in Berlin, the supervisor behind the counter told him he could not board the plane. That carrier is too small, she said with a sniff.
By this time, a crowd had gathered around Doug and his yellow white cat. Doug pleaded with her. He told her that the carrier was just the right size. The carrier is so small the cat can't even turn around, she snapped. At that moment, Kunkush made a dramatic 180-degree turn inside his carrier. The crowd laughed at this, and the supervisors grudgingly
Agreed to allow.
agreed to allow them onto the plane.
In Norway, Doug rented a car and drove 2 hours to the family's new home. They were waiting eagerly for him. So was a team of camera people and reporters. Sura opened the door and blinked at the bright lights of the cameras. Then she burst into tears as Doug placed Kunkush in her arms. Ma Habibi, she murmured. That's Arabic for my darling. The entire family crowded around their long lost pet.
After 4 months and thousands of miles, Kunkush and his family were finally together in their new home.
We are all safe now, said Surah.
So,
Just a second. So, as I told you guys, this story was based on a true story. And you guys saw all the illustration. Now it's time
see the real pictures.
to meet the real characters. And we'll take you throughout their journey as well. So just, I think there's one page that's right over here. Yeah.
There.
I just wanted to show our young audience, just for you guys to imagine the journey. It's a really long journey. And it started, let me just get a good view of the camera. Maybe it's maybe like this. It started over here. Maybe I need to stand up. So it started over there in Iraq, in Mosul.
Went to.
So they traveled to Turkey. We mentioned that they went to Turkey, and then they went down to Lesbos with the boat, and that was 3 hours. And then from there they went up to Germany,
And then they went to Norway.
and then to Norway, and their home was in Norway. So now it's time to meet the characters, and that was one of my favorite parts, really.
Boat landing on Lesbos. This one. Like Surah and her children, these Muslim families have left the war-torn countries, seeking safety in Europe.
Mhm. And then as we can see over here, so many families, In the boat.
And then over here, this caption up here: boat landing on Lesbos or
Are chaotic as volunteers like Amy help guide the boat to shore in the rough surf. As you can see, guys.
Kukush finally found his way to the community of wild cats, but they wouldn't let him join their group. Oh, look at that black cat that was hissing at him.
Yep. So as you guys can see over here,
You see that black cat?
here, get closer. That's when they arrived. And there's meet Kunkush. This is real Kunkush.
So, by the time Amy and Ashley found Kunkush, he had been through very tough times. So, look at that.
Kunkush is skinny and shaved, waits for his family to find him over here. And who's that, Yara?
That's Amy.
That's Amy.
Amy took good care of Kunkush in Greece until the foster family was found in Germany.
And who we didn't meet who yet now? Flip the page. We're about to meet Sura.
Sura. Kunkush. Kunkush and his passport
are
ready for the trip to Germany.
And that Sura was overwhelmed with emotion when she was reunited with Kunkush over here, as you guys can see her. And here's another picture of her. Sura and Kunkush were so happy to be together again in their new home in Norway. And this is the whole family with Kunkush.
Finally, the family is complete. And then down here it says Kunkush makes himself at home in Norway. And Sura and her daughters pose with Kunkush's carrier.
Such a beautiful story, right, Yara? So now, based on the story, I would like to wish you all a very blessed and happy new year and beginning, of course. And from this story, it really teaches us to like just always have hope, always believe that you will get what you want if you just try hard and keep on searching and work hard for it. Don't give up on your dreams. It's amazing, and we as Muslim, we always care for our pet. And Yara, have you recently were put in such a situation where like you have to take care of your pet?
So it actually wasn't my pet, but it was my little brother's pet. So we have a betta fish, and his name is Sky. We went traveling, and so we kept our betta fish in the garage, and the garage is very cold, so we put in a heater, and we asked our neighbors to feed him every day, and they took care of him, and when we came back home, he was healthy, happy, and
that was the very first thing we checked up on. As we arrived, we parked our car and we all rushed out of the car to see if our betta fish Sky was alive and happy, and we were all overwhelmed and happy to see that. So I hope you guys enjoyed the story with me and Yara tonight, and it was a pleasure for us. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity, and we look forward to doing this next time, hopefully. Yeah, yeah, why not? Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Assalamu alaikum.